And, and there was a huge shakeup in the points. Like, there's no denying that Ricky winning this weekend and Chris Thorne going out first round made a huge shakeup in the points this weekend. Like, Ricky's within a couple rounds, I think, or maybe a round. And for somebody who's planning on retiring, this weekend was a huge shift in him possibly going out with a world championship. Obviously, we all want to do our best to try and stop that.
Lyle Barnett, the man, the myth, the legend. I'm not allowed to say that anymore according to my wife, but this man is a man, I myth, a legend. He's the phoenix that's risen from the ashes. He has reset the NHRA Pro Mod mile an hour. Lyle, thank you so much for your time. I know, man, we've been chasing each other for 2 days, so thank you so much.
It's been rough, man, but having a 2-month-old will do that to you. So here we are.
Well, having a 2-month-old and also racing in Minnesota and living in North Carolina, it's a 20-hour trip. So you've had you've had a few big days.
Yes. Yep. It was not necessarily a failed trip to Minnesota, but not exactly what we were looking for either. So we're glad to be home. I miss my family, and it was nice to hug my little baby,
Well, you sent me a picture of you feeding your little one when we couldn't get ourselves together, and now we are together. So thank you so much, mate. Yep. You've come away with the mile an hour record. So, yep, that's a great positive. You've come away from an awesome D-Wagon weekend of shootout, which was amazing. But, dude, Q1, you literally smoked one.
I did. So we reset the mile an hour record at Brainerd. So we went 256.16 to reset the mile an hour record at Brainerd, and at that racetrack only. And so, but in the same pass, we went our best pass of the weekend, our best ET at 577, and it still wasn't enough to outrun Jose Gonzalez. I was 21 letting go of the button. Jose was 17, and he went 575 and got us by 200ths. Probably was the best drag race of the weekend. Jose is a competitor that I greatly respect, and I wouldn't want to lose to anybody else, So, not the best weekend for us, but not a total failure either. The D-Wagon shootout was something new, something that they just wanted to try, something a couple racers came up with, got a sponsor behind it, and something to bring a little more entertainment to the crowd, and I thought it went well. A little bit of mix up as far as how pairings were determined. Originally, it was based off of points. The sponsor, Craig at D-Wagon, said, "Hey, you know what? I'll throw another $10,000 plus a D-Wagon on top if y'all chip draw." And we're all like, well, almost all of us were like, heck yeah, man. So that's what we did. 99% of us agreed. And that's the way we did it. I've heard some comparisons of the D-Wagon shootout to the Pep Boy shootout in Top Fuel. Totally different, man. Same concept, but the Pep Boy shootout is just a rebirth of the old Bud shootout. Something that had been done before, something that already had an established kind of way to be ran. And they have their own deal. This was something different. This is something new. It's something Pro Mod has never done. So there was nothing to really go off of. It was just, hey, this is what we want to do. We might do it this way. We might not. Nothing about the D-Wagon shootout altered national point standings, or it was just a race within qualifying. So could it have mixed up the qualifying order because people were trying to race smart? Sure. But if you were there, and like we all were, to race on Sunday and everybody gunning for a championship, it didn't change anything at all about the race. It was just just another kind of mix up in the qualifying to bring some excitement. And I thought it went great. I think the chip draw was a great idea. I was on the good side of the ladder. I literally gave up a potential bye to the final to do this, So I did it because it's good for this class. It's good for the fans. There was tons of talk about it. Like, if you were in the pits at Brainerd International Raceway, more than likely people were talking about Pro Mod and the D-Wagon shootout. And that's what this class needs. And I was just super excited to be a part. I've ran every race this season and am gunning to try to run the rest of the year. And I hope that D-Wagon sticks with us, man. You know, those guys are they're racers themselves, and they're just passionate about motorsports in general. I mean, the owner of that thing sponsors and has a truck, a literal transfer truck or a semi that races round track. Like they race at Bristol, and I mean it's something I've never heard of, the Bandit series, but they race like Freightliner, like semi trucks on NASCAR tracks. Like it's pretty wild. So the guy's he's just super passionate about motorsports, and somebody I hope we can keep around, especially in NHRA Pro Mod, because at a time where there's a lot more negative talked about it than positive, this weekend was good for the class and something I was just really proud to be a part of. I just want to thank Craig and everybody at D-Wagon, man. It was so cool. The fans at Brainerd are unbelievable, man. They're super energetic. When you were towed back from a pass, they were cheering from the stands. Like, it was insane. I've never been there, but I hope that we continue to go there, because the fans at Brainerd are something else, man. And it was just cool to be a part of it.
Man, that's so interesting. You talk about the roundy version of tractor, or what do you call them?
I call them tractor trailer, but semi trucks.
Semi trucks, tractor trailers. In Australia, we had the same sort of deal where they're racing tractor trailers around supercar tracks, what we call them. Yeah. So round and round. So that's pretty crazy that you and I hadn't talked about that, but that came up. So, mate, you know, I mean, yes, the D-Wagon thing was awesome. We always talk about, like, it doesn't matter whether it's good publicity or bad publicity. If they're talking about me, they're talking about me, right? So NHRA and D-Wagon have benefited this weekend from Ricky maybe making a bad decision, maybe making his own decision.
Yeah, I mean,
at least he stuck to his decision. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's right or he's wrong. I'm saying you've got to give him he's earned the right to make his own decision, and then he stuck to it.
He's earned the right to make his own decision, and he's also earned the right to be talked about when I think he makes the wrong one. You know,
you have done that a little bit over social media this weekend.
You know, and Brett, I don't think I'm done talking about it. You know, I very disappointed is kind of how I'm going to put it. You know, for somebody who's considered a legend in the sport, I don't think I don't think this weekend he proved to be worthy of that title. You know, the D-Wagon, it was just they're brand new to this sport. And I'm going to let you look out here behind me. Do you see a line of people asking to throw money at NHRA Pro Mod, Brett? No, all I see is a bug zapper back there. That's because there's not a line of people outside of our rigs each and every Sunday begging us to let them quite literally throw money at us. So when a sponsor like D-Wagon comes to the table, not only have they spent $75,000 this year already, the dude is literally willing to spend another $20,000 plus give away $7,000 of his product if we'll just make a change to the way that we're running a shootout that has no effect on the national point standings or the qualifying for the national event itself. You know, and for whatever reason, and I cannot comprehend why Ricky didn't like that we had chosen to go to a chip draw, and crying, and like he normally does, he decided to sit it out to prove a point. And I don't know what he proved. We all had a good time. We put on a great show for the fans, and I've heard nothing but negative about Ricky about it since then. So I hope he's happy with his decision. I hope whatever he was hoping to come out of it comes out of it for him. The last thing I want to say is that all I've heard this year is how, you know, this could be his last year and that he's probably going to retire at the end of this season. And I think that that is the best thing for him and this class. And that's all I got to say.
Well, mate, thank you for your brutal honesty.
From a sponsorship standpoint, Brett, if you came to Brainerd and said, "Hey guys, I'll give you another $10,000 if you'll go to a chip draw," and somebody pitches a fit, you know, comes to you know, one of the racers who is a big part of D-Wagon and gives them a peace of mind and then decides to sit it out, do you not feel a little bit disrespected that somebody is denying or saying no to you, quite literally offering to throw money at them? You know, I feel like that's disrespectful. You know,
I certainly agree with you there as far as D-Wagon. Like the man's putting the money up. the man is like he spent something like $70,000 on the weekend.
That's correct.
As
Yeah,
the primary sponsor of the bracket, and then the primary sponsor of the shootout, and then the extra. And I think that the last thing I want anyone to think is that
it's piss them off.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are new to the sport, and if this puts a bad enough taste in their mouth that they don't come back, then what do we do? You know, like we're already struggling to find sponsorship now, you know, and if that's what they want to do we didn't alter the run order of the national event. Like this was just a bonus, man. This was just like, hey guys, while you're qualifying, whoever you pull up beside, we're going to throw a little money on it. Y'all
let's make some money.
Right. You know, I just, and that's like, I don't, had Ricky just said that he didn't really approve of it, but you know what? I'll run it out of just pure respect for Craig and the guys at D-Wagon. Nothing would have been said. But when you sit it out and the fans there wanting to know, and, you know, and then to top it off, the very next morning, there's an article released on Competition Plus, and he's blaming the NHRA, you know, and the NHRA had nothing to do with this shootout. Did they allow it to happen? Yes. But the rules and the way it was ran was totally up to the Pro Mod class and Craig from D-Wagon, you know, and he wanted to do a chip draw. He wanted us to race it that way. Who cares? Who cares?
I understand.
It wasn't a rule change.
No, it was a special event change.
Like we didn't allow the screw blower to have 40% overdrive. We didn't add 100 pounds to the nitrous car, and we didn't give the turbo cars 50 pounds of boost. They just simply wanted to chip draw for who you ran first round. Who freaking cares? Just do it. Like, it's amazing to me. I mean, I can't even fathom, like, you know, you saying that I respect him sticking by his decision is like me telling you that I wanted to break a world record for jumping off a bridge that was 200 foot high, but I decided not to, and I stuck with that. Like,
all right.
Like it blows my mind, man. You know, and I just hope that Craig at D-Wagon and the entire staff and everybody associated with them knows that we're not all like that, and that they have seen enough good come out of this that they want to join us next year. That's really what I'm worried about, Brett. It's the future of this class. And we have got to take care of the sponsors that we have now. We have fought so hard to make NHRA the most well-funded sanctioning body for pro modified racers in the country. And when we start doing stuff like this and you start running people off, it gets harder and harder. Because like I said, they ain't nothing behind me but a bug zapper. That ain't a lot of people trying to throw money at NHRA Pro Mod. So we got to take care of the ones that are here. And that's it, period. Move on. My mom's flowers out here look really good.
Well, dude, the good thing is that, you know, that old saying of, I don't care whether they're talking about me badly or talking about me well, they're talking about me. And the bottom line is NHRA Pro Mod, thanks to Ricky, has got a huge amount of exposure this weekend. Y'all have got 7 days before you hop in your rollers and head to the Big Go, the biggest race in the world, the NHRA US Nationals.
You know,
last time we spoke to you, Lyle, but let me stop you. Last time we spoke to you, you weren't sure whether or not you were going to get there.
Yep. It looks like I am. Actually, I know I am. And,
there you go.
And, you know, and there was a huge shakeup in the points. Like, there's no denying that Ricky winning this weekend and Chris Thorne going out first round made a huge shakeup in the points this weekend. Like, Ricky's within a couple rounds, I think, or maybe a round. And for somebody who's planning on retiring, this weekend was a huge shift in him possibly going out with a world championship. Obviously, we all want to do our best to try and stop that. You know, and let's be real. The dude has been doing it for a long time. His name is on the grandstands at Bristol. And for a story's sake, you know, it'd write a good one if he went out winning the championship and retired. But I'm a long ways from stopping that, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm gonna do everything I can. And I don't care who is racing for the championship. There's several of us that have a mathematical chance still. And we're all going to try to make it happen. This is the Big Go. I ran here last year and got put out second round. And do I feel confident I've got a car that can win? Absolutely. but there's going to be about 16 others that are going to qualify for that race on Sunday or on Monday, and they all have a car that can win. The field wasn't separated by much this past weekend, even though there were only 12. But it's tight, man. It's all won and lost on the start line. There were whole shot wins this past weekend. I think Ricky beat Mike Castellana by like 2 thousandths or something like that, so the field's tight, and I'm excited, man. It really turns it into a driver's game. Pro stock is like that, and I would argue to say that Pro Mod's getting just as good. So I'm excited. It's the one that everybody wants to win.
Mate, I'm going to come back at you there. I wanted to go to Indy, but like I sort of got a little feeling that like you're going to do anything you can to beat Ricky.
Absolutely, but Ricky he's been doing this a long time, and he knows every trick in the book. And I'm at a complete advantage in a turbo car, so I got to be real smart going to the
Come on, Hound. Stop playing the sad me card. Like, dude, you just reset the record of mile an hour at that racetrack. We know you won two Wallies last year.
Yep, but you can really alter my starting line game by hanging me out up there, and I haven't done myself any favors as far as if I race Ricky over the past half a week. So I'm gonna have to go up there and be on my game if I got to run Ricky in any round of elimination, because he's smart. He's driven a turbo car, and it'll be interesting if we get matched up. I don't think there'll be anybody that has an NHRA TV subscription that won't be tuned in. I can tell you that.
Mate, you are arguably one of the best social media guys going around on NHRA Pro Mod, but you're also one of the best NHRA start line guys going around. So don't tell me that you're scared of Tricky Ricky.
I'm not scared at all. I ain't scared of nobody up there, but you got to be smart, and you got to know who you're racing, run all those scenarios through your head, and be ready for them to try to throw you off your game at any time. So, it's part of it. This is professional level motorsports, yes, and everybody out there is there to win. And we may be friends before we pull in the water box, but when the visor's shut, there's no longer fun and games. It's all serious, so I'm excited, but it's a lot of pressure.
Well, you mentioned about friends pulling into the water box. Justin Bond, we interviewed him the other day after his win, and he spoke about the fact that as a group, he believes you've all come together. You are it's been a tough year. It's been a tough couple of years. You said we only had 12 at this event. We only had 12 at last event. I believe you're going to be oversubscribed at the US Nationals, which is absolutely awesome. Yep. But as a group, you guys are really working together to become what you were, 3 years ago?
Yeah. We didn't have a choice. If we wanted this to survive, that's what we had to do, and something I do want to kind of note on is when I blew that motor up in Q1, there were several of my direct competitors that came over. In fact, Stevie Fast Jackson, who I had in the first round of the D-Wagon shootout, him and his crew guys were over there helping us swing a motor to get us ready for first round. Justin Bond was there. Some of Mike Castellana's guys were there, and it was pretty cool. Larry Morgan, it was pretty cool. My pit was full of good help and got us back and ready for first round of the D-Wagon shootout. So that is an example of how we've all came together, and it's all for the greater good. We want to see this class thrive, and it takes a group effort, man. It's not something done by a single person. Justin Elks, Deb, Eric Dillard, Mike Janis Jr., a lot of these guys, Phil Schuler, have stepped up and kind of taken the reins to help us find sponsorship. And I want to thank all those people I've just mentioned. It's been cool to see it come together, and we're still the most well-funded and best paid sanctioning body for Pro Mod that exists today. So I'm just proud of those people and proud to be a part.
Awesome, mate. Can we just close on going right back to the start? We sort of skipped over when you smoked that one in the first round. Like, dude, what happened? It exploded.
Yeah, it's tough to know yet. What exactly happened? Looks like a parts failure of some sort. It was on a really good run, like a mid to high 570s run. Probably would have went 255 or so on that particular pass, and something just let go. It was actually on fire just a touch when I turned off, and the NHRA Safety Safari always does a great job, and they got it put out. But we don't know yet. It's and I don't know that we will know. I think there might be enough damage there that we may never know. That happens. This is all out. Not outlaw, but just squeeze everything you can out of that thing type drag racing, and that stuff just happens. It doesn't happen often, thank God, or I couldn't afford to do it. But it does happen, and we swing another motor in there and keep on trucking. So
for those people who are watching who aren't up with us, like when you say we don't know what happened yet, like, can you explain in I've lost him. Where'd he go? There he comes. You back?
Yep.
Okay. So for those of you who understand NHRA Pro Mod, what Lyle said about, we lost one, we understand. But for the general public, Lyle, when you say you lost one or something went wrong and we don't know what it is yet, what sort of damage happens to create liters of smoke piling out of your race car?
I mean, most of the time, burnt pistons or broke connecting rods, right? And ours, we're not sure exactly what happened first with ours, and not really sure what the total damage is. Like, we didn't take time to look at it. Just take a motor out, put a new one in, slide that one under the bench, and keep racing. So we'll assess the damage later, but we literally have no idea. It's something in the rotating assembly lets go.
Okay. So it's predominantly oil coming up into the combustion chamber, going out the exhaust pipe, creating that smoke. And let's get that bitch out of there and put a new one in it.
That's right.
All right, mate. Thank you so much. I know that
Brett,
you've been trying to play families, you've been trying to play dad, you've been trying to play travel, and
crazy.
And within 2 days, you'll be back on the road, back to the big go, and we'll see how that goes, right?
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have another conversation in about a week or so that's post U.S. Nationals victory. So we'll see how it goes.
And you'll have a little gold guy in this hand.
That's right.
All right. Thanks so much, mate. Thank you so much for your time. And for your time, mate.
Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it, dude.